Well, I might just do a bit of a summary because what we've done over the last 7 weeks is each week we've looked at a different topic, and it might be good just to do a bit of a reflection about the topics, and then the idea of this exercise. So I did this for myself on the ferry, and it's quite a good exercise because it makes you think, what am I using my time for? And there was a quote from a lady in the notes, and she basically said that how you spend each day, that's your life. And I think we forget that. We always think, well, tomorrow and the future, but in reality, how we spent today, that's our life. It's just one day and then lots of one days. So it's good to be really reflective and purposeful about, well, how do I want to spend each day? And given that we love God and His 2 great commandments are to love Him with all our heart, mind and soul and to love our neighbours, then these habits, it's really about helping us apply that to our lives. And I don't know about you, but one of the great frustrations I have as a Christian is not doing enough daily in recognising God and loving others. So the whole idea of this is to help us in a very practical sense. Let's apply this to our day-to-day and then come back to it. So I think the whole idea is that if we put some things in our boxes, give it a go, and we may find that we forget or we don't do it, but then we can keep praying and coming back to it. And I think part of the beauty of Soulmates is that we can hold each other accountable. And so in a couple of weeks' time when we're having dinner, I can say to Darren can say to me, how are you going with this? Are you putting this into practice? Because as Hank reminded us a few weeks ago, it's all good to have the theory, and we've got the Bible there and all the guidance, but it's not very useful unless we put it into practice. We agree with that. But it's also good to acknowledge it's not easy, because we are distracted by different things. So it's not going to be easy. But if we just take one step in this direction, I think that's a good start, isn't it? So just to summarise then, prayer. What did we learn about prayer? Anyone want to share? One of the things was, just making time for prayer. We got reminded that Jesus, He spent time in prayer. Remember, on the night before He was going to get crucified, on the way to crucifixion, He prayed. He went away and prayed and asked the disciples, His closest friends, stay awake and protect me and look out for me, and they fell asleep. Mm-hmm. And yet He went away and prayed, and He still forgave them. And so clearly Jesus was prayerful Himself, but also He was very obedient to His Father. So not only did He pray to His Father, but He was also perfectly obedient to His Father. So there's a connection there between His prayer life and His obedience, so that can help. The other thing we talked about was Scripture. So reading Scripture. So some people like to memorise verses. So Hank, you said a few times that you need to say it, is it 6 times before you remember something? Repeat it 6 times? Yeah. Right. So there might be some verses that are close to you, that are meaningful. Even like these 2 great commandments, they'd be good to commit to memory, wouldn't they?
I think it takes me 666 times to remember something.
It's not easy.
It's not.
But how helpful is it though if someone asks you a question? So this question was asked by a Pharisee. Now and arguably to maybe trick Jesus, but I think this would be a very common question that someone in the street could ask who's not a Christian. What are the great commandments? So